What grade would you give the administration on their policy making so far, specifically with economic policy? Would it be a pass or fail?
Look, the Trump administration is trying to cover a tremendous amount of ground very quickly. The president's very focused. How do I deliver on as many of my promises as I possibly can in a very limited period of time? And on many fronts, he's done a spectacular job. For example, the border between the United States and Mexico is now secure for the first time in years. That's a real accomplishment. On economic policy, it's way too early to grade the president. You know, we don't know where we're going to settle vis-a-vis the world on trade. We don't know where the president's spending bill is going to land, the tax bill and spending bill is going to land. It's just too early to know. We will know a lot in just a few months as to how this administration has done in growing and accelerating the growth of the American economy.
What role is deregulation going to play in that?
Well, I mean, deregulation is clearly already one of the huge accomplishments of the Trump administration. And why do I say that? Because the onslaught of new regulation has stopped. That in and of itself has been incredibly powerful for corporate America, the ability to focus on growing your business again without worrying about what new rules can be imposed upon you from Washington. Now, having said that, the efforts to deregulate are going to be more slow because it takes time to re-underwrite why was the regulation put in place to start with. How does this regulation serve the interests of the American people? It takes time to thoughtfully deregulate our economy.
Now, your companies have a footprint all over the world. Are you seeing investors hedging against U.S. instability, diversifying away from U.S. stocks or even U.S. treasuries?
I think there's been two very strong realizations by investors around the world. First, there was a bit of a knee-jerk reaction to pull back from the United States, to be anxious about investing in America. But then there's also just a realization that no country in the world enjoys the rate of innovation and commercial development that we enjoy here in America. And so you have these two competing arguments. Is the United States going to be a reliable ally and economic player in the world markets? And compare and contrast that with the reality that if you take a step back, no country in the world, other than perhaps China, comes anywhere close to America in terms of the rate of innovation and creative energy that goes into growing our economy.
What are your thoughts on the ultra-rich paying more of a share?
Well, the ultra-rich in the United States already pay almost the majority of taxes paid in this country. So there's clearly the ability to revert back to the tax regime that we, for example, saw in the Obama administration. The question is, does that start to discourage growth? Like, what is the optimal tax rate that both solves for the needs for revenues, but of greater importance, ensures that we have individuals who are willing to step out of their comfort zones and to take the risks that we need to meaningfully grow our economy? If we can't get growth back up to a much higher level, we do have a really difficult financial future ahead of us.
Do you sometimes look at the people running this country and think, I can do it better?
We've all had those moments. and a lot of it's very personal on issues. I personally really enjoy the job that I have. Running Citadel has been a great source of pride and joy and excitement in my life. And I think people tend to gravitate towards where they excel.